Hello, thank you for watching my video tutorial for the Painter Photoshop Action. In this tutorial I will show you how you can load an action in Photoshop and what you have to do to run the action. This is the preview of this image edited with the Painter Photoshop Action. So I will show you how you can have this result. I will close this one. First of all, you need to download the action from the Graphic River. Extract the files you will receive and load the action to Photoshop. You can double click the action, or you can go from the menu Window, Actions, or you can click Alt and F9 or Command F9 on Mac. The action menu will pop up. Select Load Actions on the upper corner and select the action which came with the download. Now the action will be shown on your Actions menu, and the first step it's done. Second, you need your image to be in RGB mode. You can click Image Mode and select the RGB color. Please use images around 2000 pixels and more, so you can have better results on your image. If your image is smaller than 2000 pixels, you can go to Image, Image Size, and increase your image pixels. It would be good to have better resolutions like 300, and then set your width at the resolution you had, 3000 pixels. Okay. Keep in mind that your layer must be in background mode. If your layer is in this state, like an open layer, go to Layer menu, New, Background from Layer, and your layer is named Background. Now create a new layer, Control Shift and the key N, or Command Shift and the key N on Mac. Name it Mask with lowercase, and on this layer select the area you want the action to affect. Let me change the color so you can see better my mask. So I will brush this area, and now you have to go to the menu of the actions, select the action and just hit the play button and let the action run and complete your design. So this is the final design when the action stops on this image, and these are the layers you will receive when the action ends. Click Ctrl Alt and on the group, so all groups will close. Now let's have a look what you will receive when the action ends, what layers you have. You have the first group named Canvas and Dust. On this group you will see two layers, the dust layer which is on the multiply mode at 20% opacity. You can increase the opacity, depends on the image, or you can change the blending mode. You can use the normal, so it creates these dust particles over your image. You can decrease now the opacity. On this image I will leave it on the normal blending mode. You have the canvas texture. So if I get closer, you will see the canvas texture. It's a dark image, so you can see this texture very much, but I will leave it. You have the overall adjustments group with these layers inside. You have the contrast layer. Again, you can modify the opacity, so you can create the contrast effect you want on your image. I will leave it at 60%. You have this color fill layer, which is in blue color. If I open it, you can see how it affects your image. You can change the color of this layer. You have the overall saturation layer. From here you can change the hue of the color of your images or the overall saturation of your image. I will leave it on 0. You have the vibrance layers, so this affects how vibrant is the colors of your image. You have the increased shadows layer, so if I open it, you can see it creates more contrast. It boosts up the shadow of your images. And the highlights layer, it boosts the highlights of your image. I will leave them open on this one. Let me close this group. Now you have the color options group with 15 color options to choose, or you can use 2 or 3 or even more layers to create the effect you want. You can see how it changes the image. You can't see very much changes on this image because this image is in black and white mode, but I will use this one. It creates a nice lighting on this image, like a candle light. And now let's go to the painter effect group, where you will find 3 groups and 1 layer. On the sharp details group, you will see 3 layers inside. The hard details, the medium details, and the small details. You can change the blending modes of these layers and play with the opacity to create the effect you want and how you want these sharpening details to affect your image. In this one, I will keep all the layers open. Now let's go to the extracted selection. It's the area of your image where you brushed on the layer mask. So if I close this one, you will see in this group you have all these paint effects. You will see this group carries a mask, so if you shift click the mask, it keeps the whole image of this group, because underneath you will see the background paint layer, which is the areas outside the brush you made on the mask layer. Now let's go back to the extracted selection. You have the first layer named smooth. It smoothens out the paint effect, make it more smoother, so it's up to you how you wanna look your image. You can decrease or increase the smoothen effect. I will keep it around 35%. Now you have the Painter 2 layer, which is a more detailed layer. So again, you can play with the opacity of the layer, and this creates the effect of this painter action. I will keep it around 50%. Let's do it. Let's keep it on 60. The same you can do. You can play with the painter 1 layer, decrease or increase the opacity. Let me close this group. Underneath the extracted selection group, you will find a layer darken background. It's a levels adjustment layer. So in this one you can increase the lighting or decrease the lighting on your background. Basically the selection outside the brushed areas you made on your mask layer. Let me show you how this layer affects your image. Now I will close it because I don't want this to affect my background. And again, let's go to the background paint group. You have the same selections as the extracted selection group. Again, you can modify the opacity of your layers to create the effect you want outside your selected area. The Smoothen Painter layer is basically the first adjustments to create this effect. You can close this layer because it doesn't affect your design, and your original image remains intact. So you have everything on your layers you can modify and create the effect you want to achieve on your image. It is very simple to use, even if you're advanced or a beginner one. Hope you will enjoy this effect, this action. For any problems you might have, don't hesitate to contact me through my page, or you can even email me your file so I can solve your problem. Thank you for watching this video tutorial about this action.